Welcome to a Terrible Football Show, episode 57, post-Super Bowl. NFL season's officially come to a close. That doesn't mean football is over just yet. We do have the XFL kicking off literally this weekend. We got USFL kicking off soon as well. I'm not really interested in that. I'm going to at least check out week one. I'm going to check it out, see what's going down. But XFL, I'm very excited for. I'm also excited to chat about the Super Bowl, all the reports coming out about various other things. We got a lot of things to look forward to with free agency coming up here soon. Derek Carr flexing his giant dick on the Raiders. That's a topic there. A lot of talk about here today. We got the whole boys here, got the whole cast. Boys, how we doing? How we feeling with the NFL season being done?
Sad.
It is sad. You're right. It's depressing.
Worried.
Oh, I mean, yeah. As a Cowboys fan, you guys have a lot to be worried about. I agree to that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like baseball season and everything like that, but baseball season takes forever, and I'm ready for football season again. So
already ready
here in the next month or so, I'm going to feel the itch to be back on a football field officiating. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is the time period for people to follow these other sports they're a fan of, but just like nothing really replaces football. Because now for me, I've got XFL I'm looking forward to. I'm not a baseball guy personally, never have been, never will be. I still got some hockey to kind of pay attention to. College basketball, got March Madness coming up. That's going to be fun. Trying to pay a little bit more attention to the NBA now. So got some stuff going on, but nothing will truly replace NFL and college football, which is unfortunate. But it's that time again. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs for being Super Bowl champions. They're on their way of building a dynasty right now. Looking forward to seeing what the Eagles are going to do to try to bounce back after losing both their coordinators. OC went to Indianapolis. DC went to Arizona. So looking forward to seeing what they're going to do to kind of rebuild there. We're going to chat about the game here today. There's definitely some talking points out of this game for sure, obviously, that's gotten the internet pretty loud. So we're going to kind of dive into that, as well as just a few headlines that's coming out of the NFL right now with some reports leading up to free agency and the draft that's coming soon. For our show, next week we're also going to be doing Wednesday as well. Next week, I think for episode 58, I think what we're going to do is we're going to rank our personal, we'll each do it, our top 5 players for certain positions in the NFL based on performances from this past year. So making some spicy ones in there, honestly. Like I was kind of already peeping some stats and stuff and peeping some highlights, and man, there's some players that might be in my top 5 that I don't think would be in a lot of people's normal top 5. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to doing that. 59, the final episode of ATFS Season 2, will release Mock Drafts 2.0. We'll take a break, and we'll come back on another Wednesday, March 15th, the start of NFL free agency, as well as the start of ATFS Season 3, Episode 60. So that's going to be hype. Looking forward to it. Make sure to check out some Rogue Energy. You can use the referral link down below to support some Rogue. We'd appreciate that. They just announced 2 more flavors, both hydration. There is the one, I don't remember how they refer to it, but it's Skittles, essentially. And then there's also a strawberry bubblegum, I think, both hydration flavors. The Skittles one I am actually very interested in. I bet that would be a fire hydration flavor. So you can use our referral link down below and use promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off. We'd appreciate that, as well as go over to Agent Inc. and buy a jersey because they look cool. Who wouldn't want a jersey with a trash can on it? Come on now. Look at that. That's sick.
Unless I use my Jedi powers, I can't call it over here.
Yeah. I'm just not wearing mine because as 2 of the boys can relate with me on, it's a really nice day today. And I just didn't feel like wearing the jersey. I feel like rocking the tank top today. The weather's beautiful today, at least for me. I don't know how it is for you boys. Well, Shane, you're not that far from me. Ricky, I don't know how it is for you. But it's beautiful here. Feels great. Feels phenomenal. I'll go ahead and turn on the music. We'll kind of go ahead and get into some stuff. So, Super Bowl. How we feeling about it, boys? Just like before we get into some conversations about certain things that the internet's talking about quite loud. Just the game itself. Did we have a good time? Did it go the way you thought? Are you surprised by anything? How are we feeling on it?
Overall, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. Halftime show I thought was really good. I know a lot of people had some mixed emotions about that. It was high scoring. So yeah, I mean, it was everything I expected. I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna say that I enjoyed the game for the most part. There was a couple things that just overall just kind of took me out of the game.
Was the field?
Mainly
the
the field. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happens when the NFL paints 75% of the field. So But halftime show, I'm not a real big Rihanna fan. To me, it didn't really live up to the past couple years of Super Bowl halftime shows. So I mean, I'm indifferent on it.
It really just depends on how much you love Rihanna because, like, my girlfriend's a massive Rihanna fan, and she was only in there to watch the halftime show, and it was like a 34 out of 10 for her, is what she said. But for me, I was like, I mean, it was a good halftime show. I thought last year's was better for me personally. But I thought it was good. I thought it was solid.
Oh, I just like to point out I'm the only one on this panel who picked Kansas City to win. I want to point that out. Number two, I thought I thought it was a very good game. I just want to point out, I could care less about the halftime show. I did like her last song. She sounded really good in her last song. Regardless of the controversy, she is a very good singer. But one thing that points out, the commercials were actually funny this year. They were really good
Yo,
this
the
year.
commercials were so good.
I cried
Oh
on two
my
of them.
goodness. I did too,
Really?
man. It was awesome. Which two did you cry on?
Oh shit. You know?
Bum bum bum.
Why'd you have to put me on the spot?
I'm sorry, man. Because I was gonna share comparisons. Now the one that I laughed so hard I cried on was the Sarah McLaughlin one. When they're in the wilderness, you two can put up tits in the wilderness, and the guy cracks open a beer and says, you're sitting next to a wolf. Like, I just lost it at that point because that was just so funny. They would mix that in there. And then of course, I mean, I don't know how you guys felt about it. I thought the J-Lo Ben Affleck commercial was
Yeah,
spot
that was
on.
hilarious.
That was hilarious. So, but I mean, yeah, like I said, overall though, like I said, the game was a high scoring game. Um, I mean, it was, everything. And of course, I'm sure we'll get into details about other things later, but I'll say this much. One thing that shocked me about this entire game is that the Eagles' run defense was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, for all the hype. Well, first off, let me go ahead and throw this out there involving the commercials. The Ben Affleck and J-Lo one that you mentioned, that one was incredible. I was dying. It's like, is this what you do? Like, is this what you do when you're going to work? It's like, well, give me a glazed. Yes, I can. But no, I thought it was hilarious. But in terms of what you talked about with the run defense, man, for all the hype that went up into this Eagles front seven, especially the D line, 70 sacks for the year, man. That's unbelievable. And just for a team, they were 5 away from a season record. That's unreal. 0 sacks. And Chiefs are loud about that. I mean, the Chiefs, the O-line, man, they just showed up, and the D-line for the Eagles just didn't. And that was apparent throughout this game.
I found one of the commercials.
Okay.
The farmer's dog, where it took you through the life of the dog and the girl.
Oh yeah.
Dude. Fuck that commercial.
The one I liked was the it's Miller time. Miller, Bush. And it said, actually, this is Blue Moon.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the one that
was
had me.
great.
Yeah.
I was dying because I don't
and
like
then there's
Miller
one-
or Bush.
There's one more. When Anna Faris was playing Eve and at the Adam and Eve commercial, and she ate the forbidden fruit, and all of a sudden these avocados pop up everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that
So
came out of nowhere, bro.
that was pretty funny. It did, but it was funny.
Because I was expecting like a totally different type of commercial. I didn't expect it to be a California avocado commercial. I was like, what the
I didn't
fuck?
either. Nope, I did not either. Oh, and then there was that that new show, Animal Control, that's coming out. They had a bear in a hot tub.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was
I
funny
like
too.
I like the one that had the guy that starred in it, and he's holding the cougar, and he's like, "Yeah, you can scan this, and get my new show about animal control." And I've also heard that single cougars near you want you. And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Did
like,
anybody else get faked out by the Tubi
Yes.
commercial?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so
I did
confused.
not. I did not.
Because, I was confusing for me because I'm just watching this from my smart TV. So I was very confused. I'm watching from my Vizio smart TV. So I'm seeing this happen like, whoa, what the fuck's happening?
I did not because I watched it on my computer, so I was like, I know it's not.
Okay,
me,
see,
so.
that makes sense. Yeah, I'm watching it from the smart cast of my Vizio. So I was just very, very confused when that was happening.
But I did get to laugh at the clips on Twitter and stuff of people like showing their Snapchat videos. Like there was one, it was Eagles family. There was like 10 people in that room, and literally they were like trashing their living room trying to find the remote.
Right. Yeah, that one was good too. That one was good too. A lot of good commercials, man. A+ on commercials. Actually, no, I'm gonna give it an A-, and for the most petty reason possible. And I'm sure it's one that I feel like definitely. I feel like Jacob. I feel like you can, sympathize with me with, and I think Shane, you as well. But there was a lot of rumors and a lot of reports that during this Super Bowl there was going to be a Marvel Spider-Man 2 trailer, and I was really hoping for it. It didn't happen. I was so upset.
Yeah.
No, but I was really hyped, and I know it's probably gonna be I'm not. I think it's gonna be a shit movie, but the trailer was good. The Indiana Jones movie
Oh yeah,
looks great, and the Flash movie looks fantastic.
It does.
I'll give you the Flash one. I'm not an Indiana Jones guy because Indiana Jones can be taken out of that, and the movie would be the exact same. He has
I
no
mean,
effect on it
true.
whatsoever.
That's
yeah.
true. You can say that same thing for like Tomb Raider or Uncharted or
No,
any
you
other
can't.
like. Oh, you certainly can.
Oh, you cannot. Laura Croft is the queen of Tomb Raider. You can't take her out of there. She's the one shooting everybody up.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, I was excited. I did unfortunately miss some commercials that I wanted to see, like which I don't even know if they even played it. Like the trailer for the Marvels and stuff like that. There was a couple of commercials that I missed that I ended up having to catch, like through Twitter or like
The
search them on
Guardians
YouTube
was the one for
afterwards.
me. I didn't catch the Guardians trailer live. I had to go back and
Yeah, I
watch it
did.
after the
Ooh.
fact.
Yeah, same.
It's
Oh,
good.
that's gonna be
It's
such a
gonna be good.
tearjerker. It's
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna bring a box of tissues just like I did for Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are going to die in it, per se. I think they're just going to go their separate ways and live their own life.
I
That's
feel
just
like
me.
there's. I feel like we're gonna get a death, personally.
I'm feeling like we're gonna get two.
I just hope.
as long as it's not-
I hope it's not Rocket, personally.
if they kill the raccoon, that's a hate crime.
I will say Rocket. I feel like is one of the most likely ones to die. But like the reason why I don't want to see him die personally is because like there's so much more potential you can continue to do with Rocket. I mean, Bradley Cooper doesn't have to do anything but voice, and I'm sure he's just down to keep getting dollars. So let Rocket go do his own thing for a while,
I think him and Drax are probably gonna be the ones to bite the dust.
I think. We know something's happening with Drax because Dave Bautista's already made it very clear. Like he's thrown the line down on concrete. He's done.
Yep.
This is it.
Yep.
He does not want to come back. He doesn't want to be one dimensional. He doesn't like all the makeup for the character. He doesn't even like the way the direction of the character that's went of him being a joke character. So like he's openly very made it clear he's done. So he's either going to go off and ride off in the sunset with Mantis or some shit, or he's going to die. I'm voting on dying. I think that's what's going to happen to Drax.
Which I agree. I think it's gonna be Drax, and I think it's gonna be Gamora's sister. I think that's
Nebula.
Nebula.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nebula. Yeah. But I mean, as far as Dave Bautista, yeah, I mean, and a big thing is he's had issues with the director.
James.
Yeah, he's had a big issue with the director because he came on for what it might have been Endgame, but ever since then, like he's had a big issue with like the director. So I think that's got a big part of it too.
This is also James's final farewell to Marvel and everything. Just because he's now over at DC.
Woo! I am not looking forward to that. I am a huge DC fan. I could give two shits about Marvel compared to DC.
Me and you
love
are on two
DC
different wavelengths.
and
Then I'm a Marvel guy. Always have been.
See, the thing
I
is,
am not looking forward. I am cautiously optimistic.
A lot of
the thing
canceled
is,
projects.
and we're way off topic right now.
It's all
but-
good. It's a terrible show. All right, it's fine.
But the thing, so this is the thing, right? So my favorite hero of all time is the Flash, and it's DC. Which going back to the commercial of the Flash movie, I think it's gonna be great. But the thing is, DC has completely shit on every single movie nearly they've come out with,
Well,
except for a few here and there.
That's why
Marvel's movies has been way better.
That's why the Flash and Aquaman 2 are going to be the reset into the James Gunn universe.
Mhm.
No, I did watch WW84 for the first time 2 nights
Oh,
ago.
yikes. Big yikes.
And honestly, I didn't I don't understand all the hate that movie got. It was, I mean, it wasn't the best movie, but I mean, it was
It didn't
better
run
than
it.
some DC movies.
Yeah, it definitely didn't ruin the series. That's for sure. I hope they move on. I hope they continue that character because Gal Gadot, she's very very good, and she is smoking hot, y'all. I'm sorry, I got to point that out.
She is so fine.
Lots of questions in the DC universe right now. You know, with so many canceled projects and everything, and just kind of going all a new direction. First, you have Henry that's leaving Witcher, set to come back for Superman. Then he gets Superman, gets canned. Lots of question marks in the DC, and there's talks where Jason Momoa is Aquaman, they get canned. He may be Lobo going forward, bro. Lots of conversations.
anymore.
Okay, that's done. That's not happening.
That's done.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Because like honestly, like he's great as Aquaman. He needs to stay as Aquaman, in my
Honestly,
opinion.
one thing I'm excited for if it happens, but I'm also surprised that they stuck with Ezra Miller as Flash.
Yeah, they're
I'm shocked.
resetting. This is going to be like the Flashpoint paradox. So
Oh,
it's gonna
okay.
like
So
reset
I
the
mean, I've heard
universe.
rumors that they're since in the final episodes of Arrow and stuff when the Flash was like running and he ran into Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
I think they're actually maybe in talks and bringing Grant Gustin on, and doing that, but we'll see.
Yeah, Urza, them still continue with Urza is one of the biggest shocks to me personally. I really
They
thought
have
that was done.
They had to. The movie was they couldn't do anything else because the movie was already too far in.
Right. Yeah.
And for this, and when I say that, people are like, "Oh, well, they did it for Batgirl." Batgirl is not nearly on the same level as this Flash movie. This Flash movie is setting up an entire universe
Right.
going forward. So, Batgirl wasn't.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean that's totally fair. That's totally fair. All right, let's actually get back to some football though. I feel like the four of us could go on for a while on this. We need to bring back talking about movies and stuff. That dormant podcast.
I'd be down for that.
For sure.
Talking about movies and stuff.
Foreshadowing.
Let me stress to everyone listening. That and Spark Bark are not dead. Okay, we're just busy. More notably, I'm busy. Okay, like I promise they're coming back. They are coming back. I swear to God. Anyway, let's get back to some football though. So we kind of gave general thoughts game. I thought it was a very good game. I saw a lot of people talking about it was like one for the ages. I wouldn't agree to that. It was a very good game for sure to finish off the NFL season. I don't think it was one of the greatest Super Bowls I've ever seen. It definitely doesn't trump off the top of my head the top two for me that I've personally watched, but it's definitely a very good game. Now let's get to the big thing because I feel like we're gonna have some opinions here. All right, I feel like we might have some opinions here. And I'm curious where we all stand on this. How are we feeling about the end of the game? Because that's obviously the biggest talking point. All right, now I don't think he's gonna get on, but Steve mentioned that he may join. Of course, he is an Eagles fan, and I did chat with him yesterday. So I'll at least relay his thoughts personally on this situation. The thing that pisses him off the most is not that it was, he's not in the boat of that wasn't a holding call. That was holding 100%. 100% that was holding. He's very aware of that. What pisses him off is like shit like that got let go of all game long and then it was called then. And Ricky, I saw your post on Facebook about it as well, where it's like a lose-lose situation for the ref because they let shit slide earlier and then they called that at the end, So I saw your post on that, kind of saw your stance on that a little bit. But how we feeling? I haven't had a chance to talk to Jacob or Shane about it, so I'm kind of curious on their thoughts as well. Ricky, obviously vocalize your opinion for the listeners, but I got a good gist of your opinion. Already, just from your post. But how are we feeling about it?
I'll wait on Jacob and Shane because I'm pretty sure this is going to be good.
Okay, so you have two of the top teams in the NFL when it comes to getting away with hands to the face and holding calls. Big time. These two teams they know how to do it right without getting caught. And the refs knew that going into this game. The head ref, even in his interview that he had, stated exactly that. So that's why they were letting calls go, because they knew those teams were going to do it and they knew it was going to happen. So rather than calling a penalty on almost every single play in the game, they just, all right, we'll let them do it. It came down to probably the tiniest of holding calls that I saw the entire game. Compared to everything else, that was probably the tiniest. And to have it be towards the end in such a pivotal moment I agree. It was holding. I mean, even Bradbury himself said
Yep.
it is. He did hold him, but man, what a terrible time! What bad timing in that game. And that's all I think it is. I mean, I don't think the refs are terrible. I don't agree with any of the talks that the crew should be fired or anything like that. I think they're good. It was just terrible timing on their part.
So I agree. I think so. As far as the holding call, it was clearly holding. But the thing is, if you're gonna let holding calls go all game, because I guarantee you can go back to that same play and watch Kansas City's offensive line, and I bet 99% chance that there was at least one offensive lineman holding a lot harsher than what that cornerback held the receiver. Okay. And for two, also, if you're gonna stick to something, do it throughout the entire game. There was 9 penalties called the entire game. 6 against the Eagles, 3 against the Chiefs. If you're gonna let them play, you cannot let that holding call make the game. Because I mean, it's what it did. It made the game. Especially when the holding call did not alter his route. It's not like he held him enough to hold him back or drag him on the ground. If something like that happened, yes. If it altered the route, I can understand the call. But he literally only held on to the jersey. He did not pull. He did not push. He did not alter the receiver's route at any way. But the call was made. So that's what my biggest thing is. Because like I said, you can go back to that same play and watch the offensive line, and I bet you find a holding call that's a lot more egregious than what that one was. And I know Ricky's gonna have a lot different opinion because he's an official. But what's
I
up,
feel like
Ricky?
I feel like he might be kind of in the same realm because, like, even me, like, that was holding. I mean, it was. I do really, honestly, me personally, I 100% back up what you guys are saying. I don't think that was a very egregious holding call. There's definitely other ones that you could find in the game where that should have been holding but wasn't. That's a lot more egregious or whatever. But also the thing that just bothers me at the timing of it and the exact hold is like, look, that holding or not, that was an uncatchable ball, like up front. I mean, Juju was not catching the ball, and that was no matter what. I mean, it was thrown too far ahead. So that while I do agree that was a holding call, I'm not gonna dispute that in the slightest. It's just like, man, now you're deciding to get nitpicky right now when there was so many other calls earlier in the game that you could have made and you let slide. So it's like at that point that if you let so much slide in the game, like it's just like as people say all the time, let the boys play, let the boys play. So, Ricky, you go ahead since you are the official here for ATFS. What's your kind of thoughts there? If you were in that situation and you were letting stuff kind of go all game long, like they were kind of doing, would you let that go or would you be nitpick? Because I feel like me as an outsider looking in, that felt like a nitpicky call. Me personally.
So first of all, when it comes to offensive holding, gentlemen, it has to be at a point where does it actually affect the play? Because a lot of the times when you see holding, it's usually offensive linemen holding the inside of the jersey and kind of pushing back. That's not necessarily a foul. So I wouldn't be too nitpicky about that because usually when you see a holding call is if you see someone on the defense, whether it's a defensive tackle, a lineman, middle linebacker, whoever it may be that's blitzing, is if you see them actually trying to go for the ball, go for the play, and it affect the play that way. Here's where I'm going to disagree with all three of you because it did in a way alter his route, and I'm going to tell you why. He held him twice. The second time wasn't near as bad as what the first one was because it did in a way alter his route. I want you guys to think about something. These guys run, most of them run about a 4.4, 4.5 in a 40-yard dash. Let's just say a 40-yard dash, just in general. So even though that ball may have been thrown 10 yards ahead, they're going to get there in about a second. So in some ways, it did alter his route. What really altered his route was when he turned. Because if you watch the initial play at the line of scrimmage, that's when you see that jersey tug. Yes, was it not as egregious or anything like that? Probably not. But he held him twice. Had he let him go that first time and not have hands on him on that second time, they probably would have let the play go because that's the way that I saw it. Personally, I probably would not have thrown the flag, but me being an official, me being just knowing what they're looking at, what they see, and everything like that. That's to me, just me personally. I don't know if I would throw it, but at the same time, gentlemen, if it's blatant, which in that case, in their opinion, it was blatant enough to throw the flag. I agree with the flag throw. It just sucks that it was just such rough timing. But guys, one thing you guys have to understand when it comes to officiating, I understand. I'm not saying that your opinion doesn't matter, because I highly respect everyone's opinion on here. But when it comes to officiating, gentlemen, I'm telling you, I see it every damn day that I'm out there, and it pisses me off so much, because I will be out there in the middle of a basketball game or in the middle of a football game, and you ought to hear some of the things that parents are saying when they're out there in the
Oh
stands. We're
yeah.
talking about grown people, what they're saying
Oh
to
yeah.
officials. This is a damned if you do, damned if you don't
Right.
situation.
It was a
Because if you
lose-lose.
remember, because if you guys remember, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, when there was a blatant pass interference that was not called, and all of a sudden there's this big
NFC
outrage
Championship
that
game.
it should have been called, gentlemen. And listen, I'll agree with you with the consistency of letting things go in the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
quarter, as well. I'll agree with that. But gentlemen, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It is.
I
It's a
agree with the
lose-lose.
flag, but I also agree. That if they were going to call that, they should have called some of the egregious ones that did affect the play at the beginning. In
Facts.
that certain situation, the flag should have been thrown. It did alter his route, in my opinion, and I agree with you that they should have thrown more if they were going to just call that one. There should have been more that built up to that situation, because the one thing that you want to see is consistency. The consistent thing was they did let them play for 4 quarters. It was just bad timing.
It was.
It's a, like I said, gentlemen, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I'm telling you, gentlemen, it's at a point. There's a reason why we are so short of officials right now, not across Arkansas, but across high school and college sports across this nation. And with the officials in the NFL, it's not the officiating, people. It's not the officiating. It's the NFL rules. The NFL rules do not allow defenses to get away with near as much as what offenses get away with. It's
Facts.
the NFL rules.
Yeah, facts. The defense continues to get screwed, I feel, with rules coming out. I feel like everyone can agree to that.
If you don't mind, I am going to turn this on, and I only want to do this because it is such a big play, right? It's a
Mhm.
Super Bowl, and in my opinion, it made the game. Like it pretty much gave the Chiefs the field goal. Now, yes, he could have missed it and things like that, but I am gonna do this if it's okay with y'all. I'm gonna share this, and it's probably gonna mess things up. And if you need to, I'll turn off my camera, to kind of make things. Well, okay, that doesn't make a big difference.
Look, it's fine
But-
for the live stream, but man, my vertical recording got fucked just now.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So I just kind of we'll watch the play and kind of get things. I know things can get kind of fresh because I know it's been what 4 days or whatever.
Oh,
so
no, I can't do that.
so I mean it's it'll freaking I don't give a crap about your YouTube channel.
I'll let you
So-
two watch that. It's best if I don't.
Okay. So
Actually, wait, no, I can get in on this. Go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead.
Okay. So coming off the ball. So for one, my thing with the first holding call, which I saw it. You saw it right there. But it's within 5 yards. And if I'm not
Doesn't matter.
mistaken,
If
Doesn't
anything,
matter.
that'd be illegal contact. It wouldn't be holding.
yeah,
Right,
so I mean
yes, no,
from
that
my
5
opinion, but
That
but
5 yards does not apply in the NFL.
it doesn't apply in the NFL.
No, not on a hold or a grab. No, it does not apply in the NFL. They can like kind of like stiff arm each other, push each other around a little bit, but when it comes to a hold, a grab, or any kind of illegal contact to the face, that 5 yards does not matter.
Okay.
Mm.
So I did not know that, but even then, from this first little instance, I know given this could be a better video, but this is the first one I found. I'll go half speed. So I'm assuming what you're talking about in the first hold is going to be that one right there with the right hand. If you
So
saw
yeah,
that.
as soon as he's right off the ball and right as he's turning, there is a handful of jerseys. That's where the initial hold.
So right there with the right hand, that's probably what you're talking about. Which
Yes, that's the
it
first
does.
one.
It does. It pushes him a little to the left, which I can see. Okay. But this, I mean, of course, and this is what I'm talking about right there. He literally all he does is grab the jersey. He doesn't alter him at all.
It's still a hold. And that, like I said, had he not done it, he did it twice. Had he not done it the second time, they probably would have let it go. But since he did it a second time, because he knew he was going to get beat, like he was beat. That's why they grab jerseys. They usually grab jerseys when they get beat. That second one, as tiny as that second one was, had he not done it the second time, they probably would not have thrown the flag.
Wonder if they're gonna play this or this is the very next play. Yeah. So I mean, I can see it, but the thing is, even then, even with this small of a right hand, and it pushing him, I mean, it literally pushed him a half step to the left. I mean, it's and it may not even be that. I still don't see enough there to throw that flag, knowing where. Let me turn this off.
And I mean, even Mike Pereira, which Mike Pereira is probably the best when it comes to being an analyst with officiating and everything. Even Mike Pereira said that's a tug of the jersey. That's a hold.
Which I mean, yeah, I mean, we all four stated it's a hold.
Yeah.
But in my defense here, the thing is, you got to be in the you've got to know what kind of moment you're in, right? It's a Super Bowl. You've got to know that little bitty flag compared to the stuff that they've been letting go is gonna highly put that in the Chiefs' favor.
So
And at that point, just let them play, and it is what it is. In my opinion, you still can't throw that flag.
so here's what I want to challenge you on that one, Shane, and of course everybody else is kind of in the same boat as well. It's like I said before, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because let's just say, what if the Eagles came back and scored a touchdown and they win that football game? What's going to happen is the very next day, the NFL is going to release all these calls that should have been made. And I guarantee you that's one of the ones they would have put on there. Defensive holding should have been called on so and so. And it's one of the things, the NBA does it all the time. And LeBron James, I'm calling him out too a little. Oh, he pisses me off. He is such a hypocrite. It's not even funny. This dude literally got fouled. I think it's about 3-4 weeks back when he was playing the Boston Celtics. He got fouled. I saw the foul. I saw it in real time. I saw it in the replay and everything like that. And this dude just went ballistic because they didn't call a foul. The first thing I'm told as an official, if it's a foul in the first quarter, it's a foul at the end of the game. It doesn't matter if it's the regular season. It doesn't matter if it's the playoffs. It doesn't matter if it's just a little bitty tournament or anything like that. So, like for example, tomorrow night, I'm going to call 2 senior high district tournament games down in Strong. One girls game, one boys game. And the one thing that my signer is going to look at, how are you calling the fouls? He's going to look at the one thing he looks at more is the foul count and the consistency of the fouls that you're calling. And I guarantee you he's going to look at that. He's going to want the same thing in the first quarter as it is in the fourth quarter. And that's just the thing, guys. It's just one of those things that damned if you do, damned if you don't. I hear people all the time, griping because they call it in the first quarter, but then all of a sudden it's the fourth quarter, game's on the line. Oh, you shouldn't call it in that situation. Guys, why do you, then if that's the case, let's officiate the first 3 quarters, take the officials out, and just let them slugfest it in the fourth quarter.
Hell
and then
yeah.
let's see.
I'm here
and
for
then
that.
let's just see why we need officials. I'm just saying it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
This will be my rebuttal to that. Okay, so say he doesn't call that flag. Well, actually, let me back up. As far as consistency, like I said, they threw 9 flags the entire game. 9.
Mhm.
They weren't calling shit the entire game. They weren't calling nothing. And then, so just say he doesn't throw that flag. Now, again, I don't remember what exact yard line he was on. But they were still on what I'm assuming is positive side of the field. So just say they don't get that and they have to punt, and and then the Eagles get the ball. They're going to get the ball deep in their own.
They would have had a field goal. They were pretty close to the goal line.
Okay,
True.
so even then, they still would have had the opportunity, right? And then of course
True.
Eagles would have got the ball back to have a chance to go score. But even then, the game's tied. It's 35-35. So let them play, and then, frankly, you got to think the Chiefs' defense has been shutting them down that entire game. I honestly don't think the
Well,
Eagles.
the entire second half. I
Well,
would say the
entire
entire
second half.
game.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant second half. My apologies. So, in my opinion, I don't think the Eagles go down there and score before regulation. I think if they don't make that call, we're seeing an overtime game.
Yeah, because and so I could agree to disagree with that. For the simple fact is that you saw the Eagles when they scored, they held the ball a long time in that game.
Oh my God, I
a long time
know.
in the game.
Huge time of
And so
possession.
I think they had 36 minutes of the 60. I think it was 36-24 in favor of the Eagles as far as time of possession goes. And so that just tells you they were taking their time. So going in a 2-minute drill, yeah, I think you're right. I think they're sort of in a disadvantage when it comes to that situation. But it's like I said, guys, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment. And it sucks that it happened that way. But it is what it is. The Chiefs, in my opinion, the Eagles blew a 10-point lead. The Chiefs earned that victory.
For sure.
Couple
And
things.
I'm not fighting against that because I mean I definitely recognize the Chiefs as Super Bowl winners. They deserve it. You can't no matter what that call, you can't necessarily blow a lead like that. But at the end of the day, like when it comes down to that call, I can't. In my opinion, you can't throw it. Especially in that situation, you weren't calling things in the entire game. As the game's tied, yeah, but we can move on.
A couple points that I have. So personally, I'm still in the boat. You shouldn't have thrown the flag. Like, I agree it's a flag, but based on the track record of that game, I don't feel like the flag should have been thrown. But I will say this, Ricky brings up a damn good point. If they wouldn't have thrown the flag, let's say the Eagles went down and scored, we would have had a reverse situation. We would have had a reverse situation of what we have right now of everyone being like, here's all these calls they didn't, call all throughout the game. So Ricky brings up a damn good point on that because it really goes back to what Ricky's trying to say. If you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. That is a very, very good point.
But
The other take that I have,
though.
hold on. The other take that I have is, again, I mean, Eagles did blow a 10-point lead. I mean, Chiefs obviously shot to them on that. That was the Eagles' game to lose. Sorry, Shane. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I was the one interrupting you. But let's be real. Like, I mean, I go back to it again. They threw 9 flags.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're going to get that list of calls regardless, frankly.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure Monday morning they still got a huge list of calls.
Yeah, they probably did.
That they didn't call.
They
If
probably
threw
did.
9 flags. When was the last time you only saw 9 flags thrown in an NFL game?
Right.
Like, usually each team has 9 flags. Like, so
It happens more than you think.
Yeah, it may just happen in the games that we just don't see, honestly. You know what I mean? Like those noon games that gets lost in the shuffle or some shit. You know what I mean? It may happen more than we think. But, Jacob, did you have any more that you wanted to add on to that?
Nah, I've spoken my mind on this matter.
Yeah, it's a situation that no one really wants to talk about, and it really does kind of taint the game, honestly, which sucks. You know what I mean? Which is also why I think a lot of people are so upset about the call, is because everyone feels like it tainted the game. Because now this is the conversation, not celebrating the Chiefs or questioning what happened to the Eagles. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of tainted the game to an extent in a lot of people's minds, which is unfortunate. But it was still a great game. Definitely a great game. Shout out to the Chiefs. They're on their way of building their own dynasty. I mean, really, they are considered a dynasty now. I think the minimum. I think it's 3 Super Bowls and you're a dynasty. As a franchise, and they do have 3 now. But this current era with Andy Reid is working to build their own dynasty. So definitely shout out to that. It's honestly wild to look at where Patrick Mahomes is at. I mean, he's like only 26 years old, I think. 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, and in the years of starting, been 5 straight AFC championships. I mean, it's really wild to look at it that we are witnessing. Like we witnessed an unbelievable career that will never be duplicated with Tom Brady, and now we're witnessing something else where it's like it may not reach the same heights of Tom Brady in terms of Super Bowl, wins and appearances of 7 and 10, but it's still just like we really are witnessing a different level of just legendary status happening right now, and it's kind of wild, honestly. Because when it came to what we witnessed with the Patriots, I didn't think we'd see anything ever come close to that ever again, and we may see something somewhat close to it with the Chiefs. Definitely would hope the Eagles can bounce back from this. I love Jalen Hurts. Lost some pieces obviously with both coordinators leaving to other jobs, but hopefully they can kind of bounce back. Well, I know. Obviously you two don't hope they bounce back. You hope they just burn and just are they're a terrible team next year. So that's just my own sentiment. Sorry, shouldn't drag everyone into that sentiment, but. Anyway, any other thoughts on the Super Bowl that we want to get out there? We want to hit a couple of these little headlines that I wanted to shout out. Kind of chat about.
My only thing is I don't think they're quite a dynasty yet. I think in order to be a dynasty, you have to either get. I don't think the Chiefs are a dynasty yet. I think we're too quick to throw that out right now.
Five straight AFC Championship games, 3 Super Bowl visits, 2 Super Bowl wins.
In order for me to classify you as a dynasty, you've got to win the championship. Back in the day when it was the Patriots, they won at least one time back to back, and they had it got to a point to where they were winning every other year, every other 2 years. I think they'll need one more in the next 2 years for me to classify them as a dynasty.
Well, in terms of the Andy Reid era, you are 100% correct. You would need a third one to be considered a dynasty. But I'm pretty sure, at least I thought, the NFL in general considers a franchise a dynasty if you have at least 3. So in that case, the Chiefs are considered a dynasty. But I see what you're saying, Shane, because it's what I just said too. That, in this Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes era, they get a third one, and they're 100% classified as a dynasty. I can see both sides. I can see the side that Ricky's throwing out there, and I can see the side of, hey, get one more and you're a dynasty.
Now,
I can see
are they the most dominant team in the last 6 years? Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Most certainly. Most certainly they are. You can't. They're very consistent in that they've been in for a very long time. I remember before Patrick Mahomes got there, the Chiefs were dog water.
Yeah, they had those few pretty nice years with Alex, and then there was definitely extent where they were just complete garbage.
And but I'll be excited. I know I'm going way into the future here because I know Andy Reid probably has at least another 4 or 5 years coaching, but I'd like to see what if Andy Reid ever moves on, what Patty will be able to do.
That's true. That's going to be the big thing to watch, honestly. All right, let's move on. Let's hit a couple other things going on in the NFL. So I know we got the Derek Carr thing going on and stuff, but I want to touch on something else first, just because it's like, damn, that take has aged really well. Jacob, how you feeling right now, man? How you feeling right now with all these reports that Atlanta may go big on trying to get Lamar Jackson when you called that in your mock draft 1.0?
I'm telling you, man.
Pieces are coming together.
I got an insider.
Okay. Here we go. Atlanta is one of the teams that makes the most sense, based on dollar amount they've got, second most cap space for this season. They could do it. The one thing that I saw where it's like Atlanta may not want to do it is they just finished getting out of like purgatory hell for salary cap. They may not want to get back into it, but at the same time, like, who's their quarterback? You know what I mean? Is Desmond going to be the guy? It's not going to be Marcus. It's like they do need a quarterback, and they have to be willing to sign a big deal. But man, if Atlanta actually trades for Lamar, you're one step closer to going to a Dallas Cowboys game potentially.
And the funny thing is about that is before I predicted that, I didn't hear any talks of Lamar going to Atlanta, but immediately after I said
I didn't either.
I didn't literally. ESPN says it. CBS says it.
Are they actually listening to a terrible football show?
Literally, you called it, and with the exact trade that you called, and I was like, "This man's out of his fucking mind." 2 days later, I get reports from fucking like Twitter notifications and that CBS and ESPN and Fox. They're all reporting this. I'm like, if this motherfucker gets this trade down to the T, bro.
I swear to
I'm gonna be out a
God.
couple $100.
I swear to God, man. It's looking like it. I mean, because at this point, Lamar is not going back to Baltimore, man. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. So it's the question of where he's going to go. And I feel like Atlanta is one of the best places to go. I really do. You know, you got a top 10 pick. You can trade Baltimore. You've got the money to sign him long term. You could send a player if you want to as well. You can, send a first round for next year. I mean, you've got some value there to entice them for trading Lamar Jackson. And I think we'll find out what's really going to happen soon, because from what I understand is that the Ravens don't know if they're going to put the non-exclusive or the exclusive franchise tag on Lamar, which will then kind of dictate if a team can come in and try to make a deal or not. So I mean, it's about to get loud with Lamar Jackson and what's going to happen there, and then just kind of see what Baltimore's going to do. But man, if it ends up being Atlanta, I'm looking forward to that notification from ESPN.
I will say the only thing, if it does happen, the only thing saving my grace is I did say it has to be the exact trade.
He did, yeah.
So that's the one thing. That's the one thing that could save me.
Now, Shane, what would you do if it was point for point the entire exact same thing?
I would lose my fucking mind.
Better
and I
get
would
a
have
fucking job in the NFL or for some organization. Man, I'm better.
No, for real though. I do want to double down on that take that Shane said of there was no conversation of Lamar to Atlanta until after that came out. Until after Jacob threw that out there.
Yeah, literally 2 days later, bro. Like we
Yep.
had the show on a Tuesday. Literally like Thursday night, Friday morning, I woke up to all these fucking Twitter for notifications, and I was like, "This motherfucker knows something, dude."
And the worst part is, guys, like I fucked everyone over here, and we didn't get a chance to really promote Mock 1 more because I completely forgot until like 4 days later to post our mocks online. That's on me, guys. I'm sorry. I totally forgot. Like I had the pictures made. Like I sent Jacob and Shane. I sent you guys the picture. Ricky, I forgot to send it to you. Again, I forgot about it, guys. I'm sorry. I was busy with shit, and I just slipped my mind.
If the NFL ever comes calling for Jacob and they're wanting receipts, we have the video receipts.
We have video receipts. I've got receipts
on the board, damn it.
I've got receipts in the Discord showing when Jacob sent this. Like we
It
got
is
receipts.
on that board. It's
And
right
what the board
there.
says it means. Man.
Next thing you know, you're gonna see Cleveland or Cincinnati contact him like, "Hey,
yeah." No, okay. Real question though. Real question. Besides the possibility of Atlanta, who else could be a potential trade candidate for Lamar in you guys' opinion? Because that's one that I've been horribly racking my brain on, is who else would swing for the fences to get Lamar? Like I've been really racking my brain on this because whoever's going to do it knows they have to. If they want him, they're going to have to pay what he wants. I just don't know who else would be willing to pay what he wants. Honestly, I really don't.
I mean, it's gonna have to be a team that's in the top 5, top 6, 7 of cap room, and somebody that doesn't have a quarterback.
Someone's got to be very
unfortunately, I don't know
desperate.
that info right
Also,
now.
in my opinion, they got to be desperate as shit.
Let me throw out a name here. Let me see if it sticks on your guys' wall. New England. They have the cap space. They have the draft capital. They also need they need a better quarterback than Mac Jones.
They have Bailey Zappi. What do you mean?
Yeah,
They
they
are,
got the
they are not going to go. Okay, listen. I will admit you were right. Bailey Zappi did decently good,
Hey, now.
but
Greatest college quarterback in history.
I do not think that he is going to start for the New England Patriots under Bill Belichick.
Yeah, they're going to trade for Gardner Minshew.
Oh, for the love of Jesus
Patriots
Christ.
Dynasty
Have
2.0, baby.
mercy.
Let's go.
I swear to my soul. Last week I watched the show, and what did I hear Alex say? Oh, Gardner Minshew is going to get a Super Bowl ring, best quarterback ever, the best quarterback
Yeah.
ever, and the second best quarterback ever to get a ring. Minshew mania all the way.
Let's
Oh,
go,
goodness
baby.
gracious.
Love
So,
Minshew Mania.
the thing with that, I think it could be a possibility, but the thing is, it's also going to be the intrigue from Lamar. Lamar's not going to go to a team. I don't think New England right now is in a better spot than what Baltimore is.
Okay, well, let me throw this out here. The teams. Let's go over the teams that are stuck in quarterback purgatory. Obviously, we know it's the Falcons. We have the Raiders, who only have about 19 million in cap space. Probably not going to be enough. We have the Saints, who is negative $60 million in the cap space.
Ooh, Sean wanted out for a reason.
You have the Jets, who are more than likely going to try to go after Aaron Rodgers. If they don't, they have less than negative half a mil in the cap space. They don't have enough money. You have Tampa Bay, negative 55 million in cap space. They don't have the money. The Commanders, only $8 million in cap space. The only teams that make sense, that have the money and have the draft capital simultaneously, is Atlanta and New England.
He does bring up some good points there.
I think one thing that really hurts the Mar, and I understand he wants to represent himself, but dude's got to get an agent. That's how things get done. If he had an agent, this probably would have already been done.
What are you talking about? His mama is his agent.
Oh, my baby deserves that $50 million a year. That damn Jerry Jones pays Dak Prescott $40 million a year to throw
Deshaun
interceptions
Watson
and
got this
turnovers.
much, and he hasn't done shit.
Why'd you have to throw that out there, man? Come
I'm
on.
sorry, man. It was a comparison, my friend. It was a comparison.
It was a hurtful comparison.
And the thing is, right now, the Raiders and Jets, I think the Raiders are more intrigued by Derek Carr, and I think the Jets are more intrigued, or not Derek Carr. Raiders are more intrigued by Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets are intrigued by either Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr. So
I'm pumped to see where Derek's going to go, honestly. I love the way he flexed his dick on the table to Vegas, because it's like, they went with the whole, we'll let you go seek out a trade and, go talk to some teams. Like, oh, thanks, Vegas. I appreciate you. All right, I'm going to go visit Saints for a couple days and stuff, have a good time. I'm going to come back. All right, yeah, no, I'm not going to sign my no trade clause. You're just going to release me. You're going to pay me the money, and you're not going to get any capital from a team that I may go to. Kiss my ass. I love it. That's big dick energy from Derek Carr, in my opinion.
And that's the whole thing of having a no trade clause. That's why you hang on to that. It's like, why would I let you trade me and get a little bit of value back? I don't want you to have any value. You said I wasn't good enough, even though statistically he got better each year he was there.
Right.
And so now you got Josh Jacobs, who's most likely, who knows what he's going to do, but it sounds like he's going to have a little bit of control over who gets the quarter or who's going to be the quarterback, things like that. So I mean, that's the big key right there.
I have another take, and I've been mulling over this for the last 2 weeks now. I came on board with the Rodgers to New York whole idea. I'm now leaning more towards Aaron Rodgers going to the Raiders, and let me tell you why. One, they have a better system. They have a better system made for him. They have better weapons than the Jets do. Two, Raiders have a better offensive line. The Jets are going to be losing Mekhi Becton because they're not going to be picking up his 5th year. They're losing George Fant, who he's going to be going to free agency this year. Aaron Rodgers is getting old. He wants to go to a team that's, more likely to protect him.
Fair.
I think the Raiders.
And not only that, if you look at the years that Aaron Rodgers was, I'm not saying he hasn't been good, because frankly, let's be honest, he's still been good. But the years that the Green Bay Packers won, they had a good running back.
They just had a good run game.
They have a good running back now.
You mean they just had a good run game? You mean?
Yeah, good run game. Yeah. Sorry. So going from the Jets or the Raiders, I'd much rather have Josh Jacobs.
Which a good run game is based off of a good offensive line.
Exactly, because the thing with the Packers, it's like they don't have a bad offensive line. They were just fucking hurt. The amount of and that was something Aaron Rodgers talked about on Pat McAfee's show consistently throughout this season, is just constantly flipping this player here. This guy gets hurt, do this guy here. So it's like, Shane's right. It's just they just didn't have a good run game. Aaron Jones and God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on the other guy.
AJ Dillon.
Yeah, AJ Dillon. They did what they could, and they played well. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the same level of run game we saw in Aaron Rodgers' 2 MVP seasons. You know what I mean? That he just had. And it's just because offensive line was banged up literally all year. David Bakhtiari's been out for almost 2 years now. He played. He pretty much. Obviously, I know he played one game. I think last year, the last game of the season, missed the playoff game, and then this year he played a few games. But he's been basically out for 2 years. So, and he's one of the best tackles in the NFL before he got hurt. So I'd say, yeah, I mean, yeah, you get a good run game, he can get something going, and Vegas does have a pretty solid offensive line, and that could entice Josh Jacobs to come back maybe, and you get a good run game going. I'm in the boat personally. I think they're gonna make it happen to Vegas. That's been kind of the boat. I keep flipping what boat I'm in between New York and Vegas, but I feel like Vegas is the one that I feel like is gonna be the more of the possibility for where he's gonna end up
I
going.
officially flipped to the Raiders for Aaron Rodgers once he announced that he was gonna go to his little dark mode on Friday.
Yeah, his darkness retreat.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to look into that. I'm kind of curious. I'm legitimately really curious about it. I'm gonna have to look in. I'm not curious enough. I'm gonna do it. I just want to know more. I'm just
I
curious.
sure there's a shit ton of ayahuasca for him there.
Oh yeah. So also just random question, Ricky, are you still gonna be calling Vegas your number 2 team? What's going on here? What are we doing?
No, I mean, I texted last week to you that I thought Vegas was going to be his destination now. Just based off the talks and everything like that.
Well,
Of
I
course,
mean for
Devontae
you.
Adams-
I mean for you. Your second favorite team in the NFL. Is it gonna be Vegas? We rocking with that? What are we doing?
Man, you know how hard it is to be a Cowboys fan than have a backup in Vegas. You know how hard that is
Be
with
a
the
Bengals
Raiders.
fan.
Yeah, be a Bengals fan with
Goodness
Ricky.
Yeah,
gracious.
come on.
Great balls of you got.
Actually,
but you got a good
no.
point because I can't
Hold on.
stand Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on. Jacob, go fuck yourself. Ricky, I'm claiming you. Come to Duval, baby. You call Duval to win the AFC South. Be a Duval fan with me, baby. Come on. Let's go.
We, the Bengals, are a
Relax.
better kitty cat.
Relax.
Very true. I'll give you that much. But I am, and I know at this point in his career, Joe Burrow's a much better quarterback. I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence fan. I've been a huge Trevor Lawrence fan since he's been in high school. I mean, it just I just have been. I mean, I don't know necessarily saying that Jacksonville's going to be my second favorite
Come on,
team.
man.
But as far as quarterbacks go, he's my favorite one to watch. I've watched him since high school, guys, and I'm telling you, oh goodness, it's going to be a very interesting few years between him, Joe Burrow, and some of these other guys coming up.
Yeah.
After that take, I don't give a shit. You can go be a Duval fan.
Yeah, come on, Ricky. Come on, join me in Duval, baby. Let's get it.
Hang on. All I said is that I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence, even though Joe Burrow at this point in his career, even though at this point in his career, Joe Burrow is the much better quarterback, but I have watched Trevor Lawrence since his high school years. To me, he's still terrific. Give him some time. This was only his second year, and
he's about to get Calvin Ridley too.
Because in his defense, he had the crappiest guy known to man coaching him his first year. So
facts.
Hold on. You can't make up the excuse it's just his second year because look what Joe Burrow did in his second year.
Okay, hold on. Let's also.
Get that, but it's two totally different situations, and
facts.
you know it, my friend.
Yeah, listen, Trevor Lawrence's first year, wipe it off the books. His first year was this year. Okay, wipe the first year off the books. We all know that was a very severe situation, and why I'm still beating the drum that Dougie P should have won Coach of the Year.
Yes, he should have.
I love Dayball. I know you're a Dayball guy. Dougie P is Coach of the Year in my opinion.
I ain't gonna say I called it, but
you called it
about halfway through the season.
You totally called that. Like literally, I think if you go back 2 or 3 episodes, I think you called that you thought Brian Dayball was like one of the leading candidates for Coach of the Year. So shout out to you on that. But I'm just saying, Dougie P is my Coach of the Year. I mean, like the expectation. I mean, look, and I'll agree to this. The expectations for the Giants and the Jaguars both were on the floor coming into this season. All right, let's be real. We can all acknowledge that. All right. Jaguars, let's start with the Giants. They far exceeded expectations. They went on that undefeated streak, whatever. Shout out to that. Made it to the playoffs. Won a playoff game against the Vikings, who were pretty hot. All that good shit. But I'll hammer this drum all day as a fan of the team. Jacksonville under Urban Meyer was one of the biggest dumpster fires I have ever seen in any level of sports. And for Doug Peterson to come in, turn it around, and go to the playoffs and win a playoff game, I don't know, man. Dougie P is my Coach of the Year. But I understand and respect that Brian Daboll win it. I do think it is deserved. I think he's definitely – I mean, really, if we want to get it down and dirty with it, honestly, you could shout out like 2 or 3 coaches of this year, where it's like they could all just be tied for first, honestly. And Daboll would be in that ranks, in my opinion. That's my thoughts.
I know this won't mean much to you, Jacob, but the second that Aaron Rodgers is announced to be leaving Green Bay, Cincinnati will officially be my number 3 team. So just know that. I know it's not saying too much, but hey.
You got
Bump
someone
it up
with
to
you.
your number 2.
Okay, Seattle and Denver, dude. Come on now.
Yeah,
I
it's a big
mean-
yikes either or. It's like you have a
I know.
pile of crap and you also have a big old steaming pile of crap.
It's like what Shane said when he.
At least-
Shane,
at-
it's like what
At
Steve
least
said
I-
when he
at
absolutely
least I got
destroyed
one
you about
playoff
that.
team, okay? At least I got one playoff team.
You had
That's-
one barely playoff team.
Facts.
It
A
counts.
steaming pile of crap in Denver.
It counts, okay?
A steaming pile of crap in Denver, and a criminal and Pete Carroll in Seattle. So hey, you know what?
Listen,
We're good.
I will say though, that Seattle desperately needs to retain Geno Smith this
Yeah,
offseason.
100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll see what Sean Payton does next year, and then we can reevaluate. But
Right.
you know,
They
Give
won't
him
make the
2 years.
playoffs.
Give him
They
2
won't make the
years.
playoffs next year.
Hey,
you know.
He'll need 2 years to get that team into tip-top shape.
Hey, one random
I-
question here, because you said Geno Smith made me think about a little conversation I saw online about this. Do you think it's time that at this day and age that we need to have multiple awards where it's like comeback player of the year and most improved player of the year? Because Geno Smith winning comeback player of the year, that makes sense. You know, he's been irrelevant for so long and shit. But like, you know, I saw a lot of people conversating that there was a lot of players who can't be considered comeback players, but they could easily be considered most improved. Do you think that should be an award as well? Because I feel like that
sure.
should. I feel like that makes sense.
For sure,
Yeah.
I think comeback player. You think
That's
of somebody
straightforward.
who was like maybe come off on an injury.
Yeah.
Like
or,
Alex Smith. Alex Smith, I think, is the
Exactly.
perfect
Exactly.
example of a comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I think most improved player of the year. I think that definitely an award that needs to happen. 'Cause I saw a lot of conversation after Geno won it, where it's like well deserved to Geno, 1,000,000%. He deserves comeback player of the year. But there are other players that got snubbed that were just the most improved players. They weren't like comeback, but they were definitely some of the most improved that just gets lost in the shuffle. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
I gotta head out.
All right, man. Have a good one. We're about to wrap up the show soon anyway. And now my vertical layout's fucked up again, so it's okay.
I mean, I can bring my screen back. We can go back over the plate.
Did you guys see that picture I posted in the Discord of what it looked like when all that was up?
No, I didn't.
I posted in the work
Yeah.
Discord. Bro, that's what happened to the vertical plugin. Just because the vertical plugin is like it's just we're all coming from Discord right now. So it's like I had to have multiple Discord windows and cut and paste the way I need it to be. So I don't know. Since I'm starting to do vertical recording as well, we may look at using the Restream Studio for doing the remote stuff. Honestly, that remote stuff, Restream Studio works awesome for it up front. Just because it presets all the vertical stuff for me, which is really nice. So we might try that in the future. But yeah, we may go ahead and wrap up the show. I mean, we hit like the couple major headlines, talked about the Super Bowl. Did you boys have any other takes we want to throw out? Did we want to throw out some XFL predictions? Like, let me pull up week 1. Hold on. Let me pull. We're not gonna track it or anything. I mean, I don't know.
Does my Battlehawks play Saturday?
Yeah, everyone's playing.
Yep,
need to-
every single person's playing, and
need
the
to find out.
Arlington's in the first game. Let's go!
Need to find out when they're playing so I can watch that.
Saturday. No. St. Louis is Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So 2:00.
Lit.
My game is Saturday night at 7:30. So I'm pretty pumped. We got Vegas and Arlington, kicking things off Saturday. So shout out to that. I know Jacob's gonna be tuned in. I got Orlando and Houston going at it Saturday night. St. Louis and San Antonio Sunday afternoon, and then Seattle and DC Sunday night as well for week 1. I'm pretty excited, man. I really, obviously with this show, we only have a few more weeks in general, not of just season 2, but also of even the beginning of season 3. We only have a few more weeks of this show before we go on a break. We take our break over the summer. But even for the time that we got going for us, definitely want to try to bring some light to the XFL and maybe even the USFL if it's not garbage. It was garbage last year. I'll be real. I did not enjoy it. So
Used to be great.
From
It
what I
used
saw
to
from
be
the
back in the day.
USFL, was it the Stallions?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they won it last year, but they pretty much just romped everybody.
yeah, good social media team too. Good.
Yep.
I talked about that last week.
I mean, I'm frankly a fan of them just because of Bo Scarborough. I've liked him ever since
Fair.
he was a freshman in Alabama. That dude is unreal.
Then
I
he
hate
came
that
to
he did.
Dallas. He got picked up by
Yeah.
Dallas and didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know. But hopefully, if he,
But that was during Zeke's prime. So I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense why he wasn't able to hit the field as much.
hopefully, he says that Bo tweeted out something yesterday, I think, and was like, "Yeah, I had a dream of something. I'm gonna go for 2,000 yards this year." So maybe if he hits that and they win another championship, hopefully he gets a a contract and see what he can do back in the NFL. But he's definitely a player I like to watch. And plus, they also have a couple of Razorback players on that Stallions team. So
I
I'm gonna
will.
try to look into getting some XFL gear.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. Honestly, I'm actually unbelievably excited for the week 1 game for Orlando and Houston, because not only is Orlando my squad, but also for Houston, I'm pretty sure I feel like Cole McDonald's going to be the starting quarterback for Houston, in my opinion. I mean, looking at the quarterbacks they have on roster, I feel like Cole McDonald is the most likely to be the starter. And man, Cole was a beast at Hawaii, so I'm pretty pumped to see what he can do, even if it
a
is against
player that
Orlando.
I'm excited. I'm not really a fan of, but I want to see how he does is Francois.
Okay.
He was over. I think he was extremely overhyped at Florida State. So I want to see if he's got that dog in him.
Right. Yeah, no, XFL this weekend's gonna be pretty sick. Looking forward to chatting about it next week, as well as next week we'll do our top 5 players at. I feel like we need to have some sort of level of consistency in terms of positions. Like, what do we want to do? Do we just want to go ahead and do everything, or do we just want to just do certain positions? I feel like we need to at least have consistency of some capacity.
I think we should do skill positions and then
Maybe
as
like
a whole
like,
defensive
yeah.
line and offensive line.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Okay, so quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, O line, D line, linebackers, corners, safeties, and then just do tight ends as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so not nine rankings essentially, just top 5. In your opinions, we can do that. I'll let Ricky know as well.
Yeah. So quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, cornerback,
Don't forget fullback.
safety.
Oh.
Okay, there's
I
like
wish.
2.
I wish. I love the fullback position, baby. I wish. Like in the games, bro, fullback's one of my most important positions. So. All right. Yeah, and then the week after that, for episode 59, the final episode of season 2, we will do mock draft 2.0 of all of ours, and I will 1,000% post it online this time. I promise you. Dude, with all the travel I've been doing recently and stuff, it just slipped my mind. So that's on me. I've just been in and out and everything. Yeah, and then we'll take a break with the March 7th slot. We will not be live, and then we'll come back on Wednesday, March 15th, to kick off season 3, ATFS, with free agency and potentially a little surprise. I won't say yet. I have to finish it first. I want to make sure I'm going to finish it first before I say what it's going to be. But if it works the way I want it to, it's going to be pretty sick. It's going to be pretty cool. All right, boys, anything else that you want to shout out here before I hit the music we got here?
Nope.
No. I'll keep it within for now.
I
got some stuff coming up. No, I got some good juicy stuff coming up
for the mock draft.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I guess now we know why he just turned off his camera. Mel Kiper called, gave him his insiders.
Oh man, fuck Mel Kiper, that clown ass stooge. I hate that guy so much. God, what an idiot, man. Looking forward to draft time though. Looking forward to the draft special that we'll do. That'll be sick. Hopefully Jacob can be here for it. That'd be awesome. See the studio. See the studio. It's pretty nice. Pretty relaxing.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it from us, boys. Any last words you want to throw out here? If not, I'm gonna we're turning up the music and we're out of here.
Oh,
Bye.
we're good.
Bye. Go Orlando Guardians. Let's get it. XFL, baby. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one. See ya.